Join Francis and Friends on Facebook, facebook.com/Francis Swaggart.
Good, we're back. And I've got an email, and I have to be honest with you, I have no idea where it's from because it was written originally in a foreign language, and then the question was translated by computer. But Tom, can you swing your camera over and get a close-up? Because I don't know. This tells who it's from, and I don't know if that's Chinese or Japanese, or I have no way of knowing, but I think whatever it is, it came from somewhere other than, and so that's cool. I did all that because that's cool.
Yeah, a little bit of Hebrew.
Well, it might be. I don't know. I don't know. But by confounding the languages at the Tower of Babel, did God also make it a sin to teach and learn other languages? Of course not.
No.
You have to for commerce sake. We're forced. I mean, it would do good if every American was bilingual. And to be honest with you, that language should be Spanish. Sure. I took some German in school. I can count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I can count to 10, or I can say sprechen Sie Deutsch, 9 sprechen Sie Deutsch, and that's all I got from 2 years of German that I can remember.
Wiener Schnitzel.
And no, no, absolutely not. How can a missionary minister to people of another language without learning?
Jesus spoke more than one language.
Exactly. Well, you go. This is what blows your mind. I have been in some of the most darkened outposts of Africa. I mean, no town anywhere in the bush where tribes are. And I mean, there's nothing as far as the eye can see. I remember the first time I went out to one, I had braces on. I was in my early 20s. And the little kids followed me around everywhere I went because they wanted me to turn around and smile because they'd never seen metal. And then, of course, they're filthy, and one of them reached up with his finger, and I was like, no. We won't do that today. But anyway, Dad asked the chief if he could preach to the village. And he said, sure. But he said, would you not also want to speak to the other tribes that are close by, villages? And he goes, well, I can't go to all of them. He said, no, we'll bring them here. He said, we'll send runners now. Give us 1 hour.
Wow.
And they sent runners out. And within the hour, you could see them coming. Right? Wow. Some riding camels, some walking.
Awesome?
Now, here's the thing. None of them spoke the same language. Dad, it was 7 different languages outside of English. There's 8 languages. So Dad would have to say a sentence. Then there was one tribal man speaking to his tribe, translating it to them. This man who knew that language then translated it to their tribe. Then the next man who knew that tribal language and was able to understand, on down the line. So a 10-minute sermon lasted about an hour, but it was then afterwards to find out that many of those people, none of them spoke English, by the way, except for a few. There was like 3 or 4 in that village that we were in that spoke passable English. But it was so amazing that there were people in that village that could speak 8 to 10 different tribal languages that were not a part of them. But they had to learn because of trade. But then you go, I can take you into, I've been to South Africa almost 30 times. I love the country. I love it. I love it with all of my heart. And I have been with blacks, they're Africans, that could speak 6 and 7 languages. French.
Right.
Spanish.
Yeah.
Dutch. Tribal languages.
Right. Yeah.
Russian. I mean, you're just like, it was amazing. As a matter of fact, every person in South Africa is technically bilingual. They speak their native language, and then they speak
Afrikaans,
English.
yeah.
But most are trilingual. They speak their native tongue. They speak Afrikaans,
Right.
which was the national language before the changeover, and then they speak English. But then you've got those who speak English, Afrikaans, their native tongue, French, Portuguese, Spanish. They're just, it's amazing. And I'm not talking about men and women that went to college, but they found themselves, like that speak Portuguese, they found themselves having to take work in a Portuguese-speaking African country. And to survive, they're not going to learn your language. You're going to have to learn their language. And so it's amazing about that. And just it never ceases to every time I go, and then you go to some places close as Brazil, and you may have to go to 50 different people on the street to find one person speak English.
Wow.
And and I've gone to places in Central America where they couldn't find a translator in the town. They had to go out of town to find. Now, there were translators, but they were not Christians.
Right.
And that they were too bad. They didn't want them there. And so it's just amazing.